Right, so I'm going to talk to you about an interview I did this morning. So I'm a coach. I've got lots of colleagues that are coaches, and what we always do is at the end of a program, I'll get my friend Tom or Mike, if Mike's watching this, or Tom, then interview my clients, talking about their experience and their reflections of what they've learned, where they were when they started, how they felt, what have been the KPIs that they've worked on, and how they've really stepped up in health and fitness and productivity and everything they've done in the program. So I did that for my friend Tom. You may have seen him, me and him on Tuesday mornings. We do go live, and we always cover a subject every Tuesday at 9:30. So I interviewed his client this morning. Not going to go into details about who it is because obviously it's confidential. But what I'm going to do is give you a couple of takeaways that I took from that may be something for you guys to think about. So one thing that really stood out for me was he said that he wasn't in a terrible place, realized that he was just thinking that he needed to do something. Wasn't quite sure exactly what it was, but he just knew he needed to do something, right? Maybe you're sitting here watching this, you've been following me for a little while, and maybe in your mind there is that little nag that's saying, I just need to do something. I don't necessarily know what it is, but I need to do something. Maybe it's to get a bit more energy, maybe lose a little bit more weight, maybe just be a bit more productive at work, reduce stress. It could be anything. Sometimes we don't know exactly what that looks like. So, yeah, big takeaway was, as we were going through the interview, I was asking him some questions, and he said one thing that really, really stuck out and really resonated with me. He said, since I've been through this program and I've started to put myself first, and he said selfish, but we both agreed that it's not selfish. He's been more productive at work. He works less hours, and he's found a much better balance in his life. Because the reality is, if we've got a stressful either business or career or job, we've got a family, a wife, we've got kids, we've got all these things that are happening. It's almost impossible to find balance across every area. So one normally gets put to the bottom, and it's normally our health. It's really hard to prioritize everything and let the health not take a backseat. And then if you're not feeling healthy, if you're not feeling fit, if you're not feeling energetic, then that's going to have a knock-on effect in the other areas of your life. It's going to have a knock-on effect on when you're playing with your kids. You're going to be thinking about work. You're not necessarily going to be present. If you're high on stress, is that going to be brought into the household at home, and it's not a calm environment? So there's a massive knock-on effect. So that really resonated with me. He said I'm working less hours, I'm way more productive, and I have a better balance in life. How pretty cool is that? So look, when we're running the business, we're often looking at ways to, maybe cut finances potentially. If things are a little bit tough, we're looking at ways of maybe increasing our marketing spend. How do we get more business in? But do we actually look at ourselves, our own performance? What is it we are doing, or what is it we're not doing? How do we perform better? How do we get more energy? How do we close more deals? How do we, feel a bit more self-confidence when we go into those deals, or when we're doing our marketing, or maybe we're doing lives like this, or we're talking to our potential clients and customers? How are we presenting ourselves? Are we being the best we can be? Because like I said, we might look at some marketing spend or maybe cutting costs, but what about our own performance? Are we stepping up to the mark and, beating our competition? We've got to be looking at, are we beating our competition? So those are a couple of things that really, really stood out for me. The other thing that, that we talked about, and I've seen this a lot with quite a few of my clients as well. It's no coincidence that when my clients start putting themselves first, whether that's finding some time to exercise or just eating a little bit better, obviously they improve their performance, they become less stressed, nicer people to be around. The guy this morning said his happiness was about a 2-3 out of 10 some days. He's now up to an 8. Everyone wants to be happier, right? How cool is that? He's gone from a 2 to 3 most of the time up to an 8. So it's really important to look at what are we doing? How are we showing up? What areas can I improve in holistic way in every area of our life? Health, fitness, relationships. How can I step up? What can I do? Now, again, like I said, it's no coincidence that once you start taking care of yourself, and I've seen this with so many clients, suddenly they close more deals. Suddenly they're putting out more marketing. Suddenly they're having more conversations with people. Suddenly they've got this confidence where they go into a business meeting, they feel like they're going to close the deal. It's no coincidence that I've seen my clients either get job promotions, start new businesses, double, sometimes treble their profit margins. It's no coincidence because they're feeling good about themselves and they're more productive, they've got more energy. And also, they're doing more things that they want to do outside of work too. So they start finding they have a better balance. It's no coincidence that happens. I've seen it so many times. So if you're all thinking about your business right now and you're like, well, what can I do? Can I improve market spend? Could I hire a copywriter? Could I do all these things? You're your biggest asset. So look at how can you invest in yourself to, I don't know, perform better, to have more energy, to have less stress, so you can really push your business forward. All right. Last thing, just to wrap up. When it comes to any coaching experience, especially looking at making changes in your health and fitness, of course, there's loads of coaches. But what it requires is a leap of faith. And the guy I interviewed this morning said, look, I spoke to Tom. I'd seen the work he'd done with a colleague and they'd done really well. But essentially, I don't know what that journey is going to look like, because coaching, it can't be mapped out. You can have an idea of what it looks like, but everyone's an individual. So if you're thinking about, starting something, it does require a leap of faith. It does require a little bit of like, I'm going to go into this. I'm not going to be 100% certain, because you can't be 100% certain because you don't know what that coaching experience is going to look like. One thing I would say, though, is look at people's reviews, look at people's testimonials, look at people's before and afters. Follow them for a little while. See if you resonate with what they say. See if it's the right fit, and would you gel if you work together? Right, guys. So look, mainly for me today, it's just something to think about. We're always looking at ways we can, cut costs or spend more money in the business to make more profit, because that's what we want to do, or more impact, whatever's important to you. But what about your own performance? Can you look to step up in that area? All right, look, hopefully you got some value from that. Any questions, any thoughts, any feedback, as always, it's massively appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, guys.